Lately, I've been getting into the Battletech universe, and I'm gonna make a video on the intro box, probably at some point. I love the idea of big stompy mechs whose arms you can blow off, and I thought I'd scratch build my own and make a rule system for it. That sounds kind of fun, but I can't build that well, so I took inspiration from that man Bill making stuff and his junk-built terrain robots, speedbots, that sort of thing. In the past, I made these guys made out of these really cheap barrels off Amazon, and I use them as orc commandos for one-page rules. Today we're going to take that concept and we're going to build something amazing. My name is Chris, and today we're going to build barrel bots. We're going to make a rule system for it. Going to be excellent. We're going to take a few tricks out of the playbook of Bill making stuff. First off is this brainstorming technique where you take a bunch of squares and you give yourself like 30 seconds to fill them in with an idea, each one being different. Before I landed on barrel bots, I just did generic robots, and then I ranked them from best to worst, at least 1 through 4. This kind of helps your brain come up with new ideas and forces you to be creative. After I landed on barrel bots, I made a little barrel template and just came up with some ideas. Obviously a little Warhammer inspired, they kind of look like Imperial Knights but really tiny, and I think that's okay. We're going to take some of these design principles and concepts and put them into our real robots. I did a few fancy sketches like this guy and this guy, both of which I'm pretty happy with. I'm not the best artist, but I've been having fun trying it. And we got to work. I grabbed a bunch of bits from my box. Barrels, can't forget barrels. Some AdMech pieces, Necron gubbins, and all of my bits, miscellaneous stuff that I've grabbed over time, and temporary bases that will probably get replaced later. So we're going to start off with one barrel and just build a bot and kind of see how it goes. I have almost no ideas for this, but I think that's going to be half the fun. I thought about using this guy, and I realized he's a bit big. Half the fun of this is just kind of brainstorming and placing parts together, just seeing what comes up. This is EVA foam, another Bill making stuff special. We're going to use thin strips of it to add detail, to merge pieces together, to get weird pieces of plastic to stick. I was a little skeptical about this, but honestly, it really helped this first bot, who you will come to learn is my absolute favorite of all the 6 I'm going to build. I don't know what it is, but he just came out so nicely, and I wish I just made 6 copies of him. So we kind of take EVA foam to break up that standard barrel shape and add some extra details and some extra robot bits. This guy's kind of based off like a combination of the first and second sketch from my sketch pad earlier. So we're going to take an eye and put it in the middle. It'll be a big giant robot eye staring you down. I like the idea of a one-eyed barrel bot. Then we're going to cut some strips of EVA foam, kind of just, like I said, fill in gaps, put it over the top of him. A little haphazardly. These guys are supposed to be scrap trash, you know, built out of barrels. This piece, I have zero idea what it is, but it's going to come in handy, so I need to source more. I'm going to use it for arms, for legs, kind of for everything. It's going to be the part that I'm going to hook all the weapons to. And then any good robot needs a power pack. We're going to take this guardsman's power pack, we're going to trim off the insignia on the back, and we're going to kind of make it look more like a power pack instead of a backpack full of stuff. And again, just breaking up that circular plainness of a barrel, adding some interesting textures, and maybe making something that makes sense and powers the robot. Big thing I'm doing with this game system is magnetizing weapons. I want you to be able to destroy the weapons of any barrel bot. So they're going to have a right and a left weapon, and you can blow off either one depending how you roll. So I magnetized a left and a right, and we're just going to grab some generic weapons. I'm super happy with how that looks. And then when we add legs, this guy's coming together. I mean, look at that. That's a barrel bot. That's exactly what I wanted. I am beyond pleased with this first barrel bot. And after adding a few extra details, some more EVA foam, I think he looks fantastic. Shout out a name for this guy if you can think of one. I'm not going to show you how I make every single weapon. That's like the creative fun of this, is designing your own weapons. But I am going to show you how I made this missile launcher, because I think it came out super cool, and I had to make 2. So you start with a chunk of insulation foam and then some EVA foam scraps cut to be the same size as all the sides of it. Then you'll need one of these missile launcher fronts sourced from an AdMech. I believe it's from an Onager Dune Crawler kit, and I kind of cut all the missile launchers to size. Then you take those little EVA chunks and you put them on the matching walls, and you kind of block it in. Now this part I definitely did the wrong bits on the wrong sides, but as long as it kind of covers everything up, it'll look fine so the EVA foam isn't showing. Then you take a few scrap pieces, a wire, a connector, maybe a sight, and you just glue it all together like this. So I have that little connector on the bottom where I'm going to stick the magnet to, a wire to make it look like a machine, you know, that it's powered by something, and a little sight. Looks great. Watch this. This one's going to go on top of a barrel bot. Whoops. This is going to be our next bot, and I'm already in love with him. Check that out. These robots are really coming together. And the beautiful thing about the magnets is, even if it doesn't stick perfectly, it'll stay held on there and it can still get blown off later. It's not a perfect solution, but this is my first project doing this. So after all 6 robots were built, it was time to paint them. Now, according to Bill, painting time is boring time, and boring time is story time. So I'm going to keep it brief with what steps I used to paint them. Basically, I primed them black, and then I used a watered down paint of orange. I realized I forgot to do a zenithal, so then I go back and I do a zenithal of gray, and redo that rusty orange color. Then I do some reds and some silvers and some dry brushing, give it a wash of a dark brown, and then a dry brush over and over on top of that. That's pretty much it, a few highlights and some lenses. So that's all you need to know about painting. You can paint these however you want. I'm just going for that Bill making stuff rusty look. So what are barrel bots? In my mind, barrel bots are like robot-controlled RC vehicles piloted by goblins and Gretchen gambling for teeth. So they build these little barrel bots in secret when the bigger orcs aren't around to tell them to do work and stuff. Sometimes a daring grot will climb inside one on a dare for extra teeth if he survives. It's almost like goblins playing dice in an alley, but with giant robots or something, like battle bots but violent, that sort of thing, or more violent. I loved the image of small Gretchens and goblins kind of in a back alley throwing dice around and screaming over robots. These barrel bots are made from the same scrapyard that my orcs, the Dusty Boys, use to augment themselves. Every injured orc takes a visit to Dr. Greenthumb and gets rusted metal and scrap rubber strapped to their bodies. Now I'll probably go into detail on my orcs lore and stuff if y'all care about that at another point, but I'll start with a big character, Dr. Greenthumb. Dr. Greenthumb is a weird boy, first, doctor second. They say that despite the dusty world that he and the other Dusty Boys inhabit, grass grows whenever he walks over it, and even snow falls under his step. he can fix any orc or grot that comes under his hatchet. Unfortunately, he also has a lot of money riding on the BarrelBot contests, and often has his metal claw tipping the scale if he needs to. The BarrelBot games are often interrupted by the Barrel Boys, a group of sneaky orcs camouflaged so convincingly that other orcs consider them magic. The Barrel Boys also place secret wagers on the Gobbo robot concepts, then sneak into the battlefield sabotaging the opposing team's mech. They are as cunning and brutal as it gets. BarrelBot matches are full of hectic, nonsensical rampage and destruction, and no match is complete without a few Gobbos either losing their teeth or completely losing their lives. With that painting done, I was left with 6 beautiful BarrelBots ready for carnage. Check them out. Now, why did I build 6 robots with magnetic weapons? Well, I'm working on a small game system for them using one-page rules, just kind of some extra rules, default settings for the BarrelBots, and ways to blow off their arms. Hopefully that rule set will be finished and downloadable by the time I release this video. If not, I'll get around to it. Either way, I think you should try and build your own BarrelBots. I liked the first one more than all of the others, but don't tell the other 5 that. It was really fun scratch building, and I have been struggling scratch building things lately. If you want more scratch building videos, let me know. I'd be happy to try and make some. I'm not sure how well I did the actual constructing part on video, so I'll take, comments and critiques and stuff like that. Either way, I'll leave links in the description to things. Comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the BarrelBots. They all need names, 1 through 6, red versus blue. That's kind of all I got for you. My name's Chris. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but I'll tell you at the end that I like to paint things. Comment, subscribe, rate, buy me a coffee, all that good stuff. BarrelBots rule. Have a great day. Take it easy.